Nice backyard. Cool in the backyard.
For calling Scout Empty Phone. Please hold while I try to connect you. Hey, puppy, hold on one second.
I should just hang up, shouldn't y'all? Gotta listen to this damn music all the time. Then she get mad because I don't call. Just call me back, shorty. We listening to that shit. Delete all these calls except this one and this one. Delete. Okay, let's see what I got.
That I'm going to let cops be cops. You said we've got to get back to having full transparency. You said all requests will be responded to, and on all the members of the Judiciary Committee, for that we say thank you. You said you were going to have the backs, as you always have, of law enforcement. You reminded us about being embedded in 17.6. You said our law enforcement officers deserve the very best. You said you know and you will not allow there to be victims of government overreach because it has happened to you. You talked about having no intention of going backwards. You have talked about making sure that we actually address drug overdoses. You talked about your work with 1.3 million active duty service members, making sure they had resources they needed. You've talked about de-weaponizing and making sure that we don't politicize the department. You said America is the greatest nation. You said you believe that because you believe in the rule of law. You have told me personally,
this is the guy everybody's scared of. That's why they're doing him last.
Looking for a crime. You have said everything you do will be factual and constitutionally based. You have said there will be no targeting based on someone's faith. You have said that when these FBI agents are upholding the law, you will always have their back. You have said that there will be a singular form of justice once again. And most importantly, I think in addition to all of this, is I have really not gotten to hear you talk about the FBI. And so I would love, you mentioned in the 7 minutes that it takes one of these senators to ask you questions, that unfortunately there are, I believe you said, 3 rapes, 2 overdoses, 1 murder. Look, yesterday we signed the Laken Riley Act and the law President Trump did. And when we look at what's happening across our country with the surge of illegal migrants that have come in, when we look at fentanyl overdoses being the leading cause of death between the ages of 18 and 5, I've heard you say you want to tackle that. When we look at parents like Laken Riley's mother yesterday, as she talked about her heartbreaking loss that should have never happened, Rachel Marin's family there, Sarah Root's family there, Jocelyn Nungberry's family there, they deserve an FBI that is focused on finding these criminals and getting them out of here. So my question for you is, I'd like for you to talk about that. You've talked about cleaning up America, making it safe and secure for its people. Please tell the American people your plans.
Thank you, Senator. I really appreciate it. And the 2 themes that, if I'm confirmed, that I have for the FBI are really just going back to keeping it simple. 1, let good cops be cops. 100,000 drug overdoses, 100,000 rapes, 17,000 homicides. That's only with 70% of the precincts reporting in. That is violent crime exploding out of control. We've got 38,000 employees at the FBI, and as I alluded to earlier, almost a third of them work in and around the Washington, D.C. area. Well, those crimes are committed out in the rest of America. And I'm going to let good cops be cops and put handcuffs on the bad guys and put child molesters in prison and put murderers in prison and make sure CCP fentanyl doesn't kill another one of your constituents. That's track one. Track two, to restore the trust in the FBI. That has degraded, not by my opinion, by the Gallup poll, that only 40% of Americans have trust and faith in the FBI. It is a cataclysmic failure in leadership to get to that point that did not happen over time. And so what the FBI must do while tackling violent crime and protecting Americans' national security and our sovereignty is work with Congress, Republicans and Democrats, to expose any government corruption, provide government accountability through transparency, and get you all the documents that you are the custodians of. The FBI reports to Congress. If I am confirmed as FBI director, I will report to Congress. And I will just save you with this one caveat here about my personal experiences with the FBI. The men and women of the FBI do the most courageous work on God's green earth. I was fortunate enough to utilize FISA 702 national security measures to prevent a shopping mall from blowing up in Houston and the state capitol from being attacked in California. Courageous men and women do that work every day, and these are cases you never hear about. Instead, the only things you hear about are the baseless conspiracy theories and attacks levied at me. Well, here's something for America. You can say whatever you want about me. If I'm confirmed, bring it on. But you will not denigrate the men and women of the FBI that saved this country.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And speaking of, I want to talk to you a little bit about how you're going to make sure that those men and women have the opportunity to get out and about throughout the country. And so when we look at that, obviously Huntsville, Alabama, to me is a Redstone. That's exactly right. Redstone Arsenal is a beacon of what we should look at, putting our men and women out amongst the very people that they serve. And so in my next few minutes, I certainly want to talk to you about that. I'll save it for the next three. But just finishing up on what's happening at our border. We saw under this previous administration that there were about, I think, 1.7 million special interest aliens that came across our border. I think the House Judiciary Committee put it out. That's obviously from the 26 countries that DHS determines have the greatest threat here in our homeland. When you're looking at how do you tackle that? So, they're in the interior. Additionally, the people on the terrorist watch list, the hundreds of people that have been released into our country. How do you man your men and women to go and find those individuals and make sure that our country is safe?
This is going to require a collection of law enforcement, what we call 1811 agents across the various agencies. Specifically, HSI and Secretary Noem are going to be prioritized with tasking and going after illegals to follow the law and the orders issued by the White House. But also at the same time, the FBI possesses an enormous amount of resources to go into our jails and find those already imprisoned and with pending deportation orders, with pending violations of their parole status. So if I'm confirmed, the full resources of the FBI, where appropriate, will be committed to that cause, but I believe primacy rests with other agencies.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Senator Schiff.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Patel, early in this hearing, Senator Durbin asked you about the January 6th choir of inmates whose song you promoted, and here's what you said. I did not have anything to do with the recording. I did not have anything to do with the recording. Do you stand by that testimony, Mr. Patel?
Senator, what I said was I didn't do the recording.
You said you didn't have anything to do with the recording, which is interesting because here's what you told Steve Bannon on his podcast. So what we thought would be cool is if we captured that audio and then, of course, had the greatest president, President Donald J. Trump, recite the Pledge of Allegiance, then we went to a studio and recorded it, mastered it, digitized it, and put it out as a song now releasing exclusively on the War Room. We. If you had nothing to do with it, Mr. Patel, why did you tell Steve Bannon and all his listeners that you did?
That's why it says we, as you highlighted.
Yeah, and you're part of the we, right? When you say we, that includes you, doesn't it, Mr. Patel?
Not in every instance.
Well, that's new. So when you said we, you didn't really mean you. Is that your testimony?
Not unless you have a new definition for the word we.
Oh, okay. I always thought we included the person who pronounced the word, but maybe not. Well, you also said this, Mr. Patel. We were able to capture the recording thanks to their courageous singing, and we were able to take it to a studio. So let me ask you, Mr. Patel, after saying we took it to a studio, did you take it to a studio?
Me personally, no.
After you said that we digitized and recorded it and all that, did you take it to a studio and digitize and record it?
Me personally, no.
Okay, so you were lying to Steve Bannon and his audience. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was using the proverbial we appropriately. As
The
you
royal we. Oh, I see. And so you certainly promoted the hell out of it, though, didn't you?
I don't know what that means, but I promoted the heck out of raising money for families in need.
With promotions on social media and saying you were going to get this to #1 on the billboards, right, Mr. Patel?
I think it did.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Isn't that great? People who violently attack police have a #1 song thanks to you, Mr. Patel. That's something to be really proud of. Now, you've claimed, Mr. Patel, you didn't know about any of these people in the choir. Is that right?
I did not know about the violent offenders, and I did not participate in any of the violence in and
tell
around
me-
January
Tell
6th.
me, Mr. Patel, what due diligence did you do to find out who was in the choir before you promoted their beautiful music? These people who assaulted law enforcement. What due diligence did you do?
Senator, I didn't record it myself.
So you did no due diligence before you promoted this song by these violent felons. Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I did not record that myself.
So you're being considered for director of the FBI. And here you did no diligence to find out whether people you were associating with now the President of the United States in song were convicted of attacking police officers. Is that who we want running the FBI? I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lying. You know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
You
my entire
glorified it in
life,
song,
and I did
Mr.
not make
Patel.
a single dime out of
In
it.
song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that
Let me ask
answer.
you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr. Schiff,
Yes or no? Would they be fit to be director?
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song with someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16
And
years
yet
of
you
government
did all
service.
these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement. I decry violence against law enforcement. You could say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters. Well, let me ask you about something else that you did, Mr. Patel. Did you claim that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago? Did you claim that?
In what proceeding?
To the public, ever? Did you tell anyone that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago?
From publicly available information, President Trump issued a declassification order on a variety of
No,
materials.
I'm just asking you, did you tell the public, did you tell anyone, did you make the claim that Donald Trump had declassified those hundreds of classified documents that were at Mar-a-Lago? Did you make that claim
From my
publicly?
best of my recollection, I said President Trump issued a declassification order to a large number of documents.
Yeah, and were you present when he declassified all the Mar-a-Lago documents?
Senator, I'm not saying he declassified all the Mar-a-Lago documents. I said President
so now-
Trump declassified a large number of documents, and I would hope this committee and the rest of Congress would want to get those documents to the
And
American
Mr. Patel,
people.
Mr. Patel, before a president or anyone declassified documents, wouldn't you want to know whether making the public would cause sources to be killed? Wouldn't you want to know that before you just declare they're all declassified? Wouldn't that be the responsible thing for a president to do?
It was the responsible thing for us to do. That's why we declassified the Nunes memo.
And did Donald Trump declassify?
And no one died.
And did Donald Trump ever ask any of the agencies who produced those documents whether declassifying them would put people's lives at risk? Did he ever do that to your knowledge, Kash Patel?
I don't know that he didn't. Do you?
No, that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem, isn't it? So let me just ask, Mr. Chairman, if you would, Mr. Patel has said he has no problem. He would support the release of his grand jury testimony in that case. I would ask you, Mr. Chairman, ranking member, to join me in requesting, with Mr. Patel's approval, the release of those grand jury transcripts. And I would also ask Mr. Patel whether you support the release of Volume 2 as it pertains to you of the special counsel's report. Any reference to you in the report, to your truthfulness, will you support the release to this committee of those sections of Volume 2 of special counsel's report?
I support following the law and providing whatever information the law requires.
Well, you said to the Wall Street Journal that you support transparency. Here's your chance, Mr. Patel. You support release of that to this committee, yes or no?
Your time's up. Before I call on Senator Tillis, I have letters here from law enforcement groups representing 310,000 officers supporting Mr. Patel's nomination. And they'd be like the Association of Police Organizations, National Police Association.
Oh, she already signed. I'm pretty sure she. No, I already explained to her. So she can leave? Huh? Hi. Hi. Just keep an eye out on her. I got you. So the female in the lobby, the one that's got complaints, Bravo Foxtrot, she got this check for just under $40,000. She deposited it via phone.
Hey, good morning.
Right.
303173.
This morning, mind you, this was done on the 30th, right? The 30th or the 31st?
30th,
Okay, so like 2 days ago.
Monday.
Which means the check probably is not going to clear in 2 days, right? So she goes to 2 ATMs, deposits or withdraws $1,000 each. She then goes to Kissimmee branch and withdraws $20,000. She then comes here and is wanting to clear out the rest of the account, which is equivalent to what?
17,000.
17,000
No.
and probably some change. They called the bank, obviously because of a large amount of money, to verify whether or not this check is legit. They said no, it's a fraudulent check. They don't have she is not their client. They said they had a fraud from their business where a whole bunch of checks were stolen or information. They don't have a check that starts with that account number.
But now you sold the home.
So they took the information.
So it looks like they, so she, it was good timing because as you guys were coming in, she was trying to leave. So I kind of explained to her, like, man, you know, hey, don't leave just yet. Like, she's like, well, I've been here a hot minute. I understand that, but just understand that you're trying to withdraw money, and usually people call ahead of time, so they're trying to gather whatever they need. Kind of bought us some time, and just hang out for a few more minutes while we try to figure it out. And I was like, I'm here because one, I'm working for the bank, but two, it's a large amount of money, so we just want to ensure that obviously if nothing happens. So, but yeah, they called, but as you can see, the memo says settlement proceeds, but the top says payroll check. So that's kind of what drew their attention, like, is this payroll or is this a settlement check? But when they called and verified, they're like, please, this is a fraudulent check. We don't have a check that starts in this check sequence.
That's the business that said that?
Yeah,
Or the
so they called the business, and they talked to somebody, and that's how they found out, like, hey, this check doesn't exist. It's a fraud. So she seems pretty calm, but I think she's starting to get a little nervous.
Okay.
Because she was trying to leave.
Yeah.
We've been
The
asking.
primary will be here in a minute.
Okay.
So we'll just make sure she doesn't go.
Yeah. Yeah. I was literally just typing reports. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to the ocean.
Yeah, it was like, that's my job. That's $17,000. I'm not losing my job over here. I'm sorry.
Have we contacted the owner of the check and see if they want
Yes.
to
Yeah, that's who they
see if
talked
they want to
to.
prosecute? And they want to
Yes,
prosecute
she said that if
it.
we do, we can. She gave me her email. She's the manager of the law firm. And she said if we get a report and everything, we can also forward it to them so they can.
Right, but do they want to prosecute?
Yes,
Yes.
I asked her. Yeah,
Yeah, so as long as we have contact information, all that,
yeah, I
Then
got
we
you,
can-
and I can call her again and
Yeah.
get everything from her.
we'll get you started on the statement in the meantime, just to kind of have, like
Yeah.
you told us.
Yeah, sure.
That way we can get that started.
Yeah, you got it.
Stay forward with her until she
Yeah.
gets here and she's still working on
Yeah, because right now, like, obviously,
surprised that she's still there with the amount of.
That's her right there, right?
Yeah, that's it.
well, like I said, she was like, getting ready to leave, so I was like, excuse me, miss? She's like, I beg your pardon.
Oh God, just what about you guys? That other officer in the back waiting for y'all too.
Oh, yeah.
Female?
You want her to?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Please.
Yeah, that's your officer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the suspect. Do we know who she is?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the like, hey, what's up? She's got, so now the question is whether or not she still has like 20 grand that she deposited or withdrew from Kissimmee.
When did she withdraw? This morning?
This morning, yes.
This morning.
She
Most likely
grew
before.
right here after that, and that was another thing. Like I said, what is she needing money? And she told him she's going shopping. You don't go shopping with $40,000 in cash.
I mean, I don't even
I don't know.
know.
Some people do cash. I don't do cash, but some people do.
I don't
People
have
only deal with cash.
Yeah,
I don't have
$40,000.
$40,000, so yeah.
I mean, right now,
$17.91 budget today for me.
More than I have.
Yeah.
That's 50 is what I get.
So I know you just went through it.
Yeah, I'll fill you. Are you primary?
Yes.
Okay. So this from this email here.
There's a case, so she knows exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think she will.
So that, you know.
You know who she is?
We'll find her. We'll have female sitting at the end of the bench. Yeah, there, pink pants. Hey man, I'll end.
We're just detaining you right now. You're not under arrest. Just detaining you until we have more information.
Are you done with it? Yes. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
She's on the way, so you're not gonna be waiting on. So I'll just put you the call. I say you know her, right? She's on the way now, so you're not gonna be waiting on. Like I said, I'll tell you where I'll loosen it up. I'll loosen it up. Then I'll put
Out of here? No, not right now.
I'm praying now. I gotta go to my appointment.
I'm
That's
saying,
the
yeah,
only
there's
reason we had to.
I can't give you anything out of here right now because there's kind of an investigation going on.
They said wait for the detective. I'm
Detective
not
will be here
arrested.
shortly.
Just detained. You're under arrest. No, I'm cutting off. Well, how long are they gonna be take this?
Probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're already on the way, so it's not gonna take They just want to talk to you. Said I have not. If they want to get involved, I'd rather. Do you want me to close so you can put the? I'll put the AC and everything. You can't leave them so I can sit right here. And so because in that, it's hot.
It's hot.
It's
So
hot.
we have, when the doors close, the air conditioning will keep it cool.
It's hot.
If you leave the door open, it's just all heat.
It's all gonna come up. Let me put this first.
They're just doing some checking on some stuff. Are you in another car? Are you in another car?
Yeah, but I gotta go to my appointment.
Okay.
Yeah, my stuff.
What does she have of yours that you need for an appointment?
I take a purse. Yeah, purse is taken. There's not. It don't matter. I can take a purse.
No, you can't. You can't take anything right now.
Because all she needed was her car and her phone, right?
This is her purse. We can't let anything go out of that right now.
No, it's not hers. That's my purse.
That's your purse?
Yes, that's just her ID and her.
Why is she carrying your
wallet.
purse?
Because I'm supposed to go in there to open up, but I was waiting.
Hey. You get the email?
Yes.
Okay. I'm listening.
Oh, you are? Okay. They said it would be a pleasure to accommodate us for our wedding. She sent a list of questions that she would like us to answer, and she also sent a menu of we could choose from, and then she said once we fill out the questionnaire and send it back to her and letting her know what we want off the menu, she can give us a quote.
Okay.
Okay, so I was thinking when I get home today, we could sit in front of your laptop and print out 2 menus. Let's look and see what we like. And then we can reach back out to Mercedes, answer the questions. I don't want to do anything here at the job, if you don't mind. Okay. That we just use your laptop and your printer and stuff like that. And yeah, she said I sound lovely. I'm sorry, babe. Actually, you were not on the email. I apologize. I thought I put it, because I always put you down with everything, but it looks like it was just me. So I do apologize about that.
It doesn't matter. If you're gonna, just let me know if you do, so I can be looking for it.
Okay. Gotcha. So she said I sound like, she said you sound so pleasant and nice, things like that, you know. That's fine. The menu looks pretty good. We just gotta decide on, you know, what we want to be at that table to feed our friends. And now I'm starting to look for, we need the king and queen chairs. And I'm thinking about how to decorate the place. So that's just heavily on my mind right now. How's everything going with you?
Okay. Time to get home.
Oh, yeah.
You done ate? Oh, I forgot you don't eat.
Huh?
I forgot you don't eat.
Right. Just got my nuts and my water. I'm using the cup that Nicole bought me for Valentine's Day. It's my cup today. And I told you I left the chicken out, right?
Yeah, you told me.
Cool beans. Dude, what you want to do with them? Put them on a grill, put them in the oven.
I'm not sure yet. I'm wait till I get in the house.
No. Okay. What, you want to take a nap?
Look at it, see what I'm going to do with it. Probably season it and leave it alone for a minute. Oh, shit!
What?
This stupid bitch jumped out in front of us. It's like the guy tore up by the Mercedes in front of me. He was first. He was going to tear her ass up. These people just don't be caring.
I need to do something else. What I need to do? Decorations, my dress. All right.
this motherfucker. Everybody's in a hurry. Fuck out the way. Come on with your funky ass. Just go with your funky. I'm gonna take it because your ass don't have no signal or no nothing. Stupid. Get away from these mofos. Driving motherfuckers.
Nicole said happy birthday to my mommy.
What she did?
Yeah, put a picture of me and mom up there. Said happy birthday to my mom and Nicole. Shauna said something. Nicole said that was thoughtful. Thank you. Oh, Marjorie said happy birthday to her. Oh, that's really nice, your family saying happy birthday to my mom. Very thoughtful.
You know you're in violation of the work code, right?
As far as?
You're not supposed to be on social media in the workplace.
I'm on my lunch. I'm on my cell phone. I'm not on that computer. And I'm on my lunch hour. And I'm on my cell phone. I'm not on that computer with nothing. I'm on
Shanika
my
is
cell
on a
phone. And when we go on break, we break. That's what what's the name said.
Turn, bitch. Ah, damn these people. She done passed her turn to make a left. Ain't that a bitch? Passed the turn. How you pass the left turn and then turn left?
That sounds like accident.
Yeah, waiting to happen? I'm over here with blacks. You know where I'm at, Panola.
Oh, you are?
Yep. Because 285 to 20 has got heavy construction, so you had to take flat shows. No, you won't be affected.
Why you just...
If you come from 285 to 20, then you're going to run into it. And you got the blockage going on for that construction, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you could have just took the back roads like we did yesterday.
I got off on flat shows, I just said. You don't
That's
listen
how
to
I'm
me.
going to
Now I'm working my way behind 20, trying to get the Stonecraft.
That's how I'm going to go see my mama. All right, to them back roads.
Oh, you going by there today?
No. I said, well, now that I know where they are, and I got it in my head as far as like where, like how to drive.
You would go towards Lithonia Industrial Boulevard, turn right on that road we turn right at, like you going to your apartment.
Wellington. Yeah.
Pass your apartment.
Or I can even go to Panola, right? Or I could just go to 20. No, take Panola.
Don't listen to me. I said to Wellington, pass your apartment, keep on down. It runs right into whatever road that is. What's the name of it? Green.
That road.
Green something. You got the Quick Trip right there. Make a left at the Quick Trip, then make a right. There you are. What's the name?
That's Hugh.
What's that? Greenwood?
Hugh Mill. Evan. No,
Green.
No, because this is before. This is Wellington, and then go straight down, and then bust that left. I don't know that street
It's
name.
a green.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking. Yeah, I just don't know the name.
It's that on 285 is Covington, and the next exit is Greenwood. Did I say it right?
No, Evans Mills, babe.
No, I ain't got nothing to do with Evans Mill in your mama's house. Your mama don't come nowhere near Evans Mill. You going down 285 headed towards 20, right? You come Covington Highway, and then the next one is Greenwood, I think. I'm saying it wrong.
Glenwood?
Glenwood. Okay, now if you pass your apartment on Covington, right? Your apartment be on the right hand side.
Right.
You keep going down till you see a Quick Trip. Make a left. That's Glenwood. After you
No, babe. If I pass my apartment.
Listen to me.
Oh my God.
If you pass your apartment, you pass Panola Road first, right? You pass Panola, then you pass Wesley Chapel. After you pass Wesley Chapel, you make the first left. That's Glenwood.
Are you talking about going to Mama's?
Yeah,
going
if you're
to
going to your mama's house.
Okay.
So if you was coming from 20, you would go 285, 20 to 285 to Glenwood.
Oh, don't get off at 20 and take Panola to Covington and Covington to
You
Glenwood?
take 20 to 285 north, get off at Glenwood, first exit. And there you are. Black people, that's what the God.
See, I would go the long way.
Yeah, you've been a pastor.
I go the long way, so I know where I'm going. Cause
you gotta keep to the left to keep on 20 anyway at the 285 exit. So why not get in the right lane and take 285 north? Get off at the first exit. That's Glenwood. Black people just don't understand. You gotta knock them over the head. Glenwood, motherfucker. Glenwood.
Oh, you didn't even know the damn name. Who you talking to?
I say Greenwood.
You say, yeah, you ain't even know either.
Because I don't go over there with them nigglets. Now I'm driving motherfuckers.
You need to watch your mouth.
They pieces of cars. Cuz had three rims on his Mercedes yesterday.
Serious issues.
3 rims on his Mercedes. Could tell that nigga shit. Nigga, you need 4 rims if you're gonna do it right. Do it right. God damn it. Alright, I'm on Evans Mill right now. Going by that funky ass church. Bishop Eddie Long former church.
Oh, that's the one that had the boyfriend.
Nah, it's a MAGA hating church. They MAGA haters. It was on the news yesterday. Hating MAGA, MAGA this, MAGA that, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. That's all they know, MAGA. Don't even know what the fuck they talking about. I got to go to somewhere tomorrow. I'm working all this week. Got to go somewhere tomorrow.
Yeah. You got something every day this week.
Yep. Oh, I've been wearing Pulse out right now.
That's good.
Let's go, goddamn. New birth. New birth.
Oh, that's the one that he.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Woodrow Road in Evans Mill. Black people so phony down here, man. Especially to the church going motherfuckers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, that culture, they don't took the church now, too.
That culture?
The church is gay.
Did you say that culture done took the church back?
Yeah, the churches are gay now.
No, the churches accept.
Gay. They got gay pastors. They be having sexual relations with other same race. They be having sex with little boys. Just like Bishop Eddie Long. He gay.
Do you know that the Catholic
It was a gay pastor at Walter service was by a female gay pastor. My daddy funeral was by a male gay pastor. They don't took over the church. The church is gay.
I wouldn't say that they took over. I'm just going to say that they are now accepted in the house of the Lord, and they are not being
The Lord don't
judged.
have a house.
He don't?
The Lord don't have a house.
Oh.
You didn't know that? The
So
Lord's
who
house.
else was-
The Lord's house is within you. You carry the Lord's house around every day.
Right.
That's just a place that you meet
Right.
that lie about being in the Lord's house. That's a lie. The Lord is within you.
Mhm.
And see, that's the deception.
Mm.
Once you recognize the Lord is within you, everything about your life becomes peaceful. You don't argue no more. You don't be thinking no more about what everybody else is doing. You get in one with the Lord, and you find perfect peace because you don't have to sit around doing God's work, and that's worrying about what everybody else doing. You don't worry about what you got to do and do one thing at a time. That's when you're in the house of the Lord. When you sitting around thinking some goddamn worrying about what everybody else doing, that's the devil work. And it brings nothing but trouble. Worry about oneself. So you gonna be home at 7?
No, I should be home before that.
Y'all motherfuckers need to move now. God damn. What's going on? Is it Monday?
I'm going.
Is it Monday?
Today's Monday, but there's no school. You know, today's a holiday.
What holiday is it this time?
It's President's Day, right?
Fuck it.
You didn't give no discounts.
Fuck a discount. I need to get paid. Damn, fuck a President's Day. But Trump working. Nobody told him. Nigga busy laying motherfuckers out. That motherfucker done laid out 500,000 people.
But the judges are putting in restraining orders and stopping things that he's doing. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he gonna win that too because he is the executive in charge. You can't override the executive in charge. Yeah, they just wasting time. Yeah. He's the leader of the country. He is the head nigga in charge. He can fire your ass anytime he want for any reason he want. Y'all can go to court all you want. But he is HNIC at the end of the day. So they can go to court. All the court does is delay. See, what they scared of is Kash Patel. You know, I've been saying that name. You've been hearing that name, Kash Patel. He is going to be bringing out the list. That's who they scared. That's why they doing him last. He in there right now. So they did 30 hours last week of talking about letting him come in. Another 30 hours this week. The Democrats are. They get up to 60 hours of talking about why they don't want him to be the FBI director. And then after 60 hours, they got to vote. If they don't vote, then there's something they call, I forgot, there's a name of it, where Trump can override the vote and send in the vice president to execute an order to put him in as FBI director. Either way, he going to be the FBI director. Once he get in, that's when people going to start going to jail. And see, the people, they can go to the courts all they want, right? And say that Trump did this and Trump did that. The judges cannot enforce the law because he is the law enforcement. So you want him to turn himself in. You think that's going to happen? He's over the FBI, CIA, Department of Justice. He's over all law enforcement. So the judges can't enforce it. They can rule against him all they want, but ain't nobody coming to put the handcuffs. They have to call. They have to call. Like, let's have him arrested. They have to call the Department of Justice to issue a warrant for the President of the United States. They can't because they work for him. Oh. So they can go to court all they want. They can't enforce it. All right.
Okay.
Go back to work. Go do something with yourself.
Work.
Call your manager. Tell you been slacking.
Whatever. She didn't even talk to me today.
She did. Damn.
I'll call you back.
All right.
You have a message.
Yeah.
Look at some important numbers right now. You can see already showing how successful President Trump's sweeping crackdown on illegal immigration has been and continues to be. Day 28 in his presidency. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Illegal border crossings have fallen by so much, one illegal immigrant shelter has shut its doors. FEMA gave the San Diego shelter more than $20 million last year. That money went to medical screenings, food, legal support, and other services for illegals. However, since Trump took office, that facility has become one single new illegal immigrant. That's all they've seen. The Department of Homeland Security's data also showing staggering results. ICE arrests have soared by 137% compared with the same period last year under former President Biden. Within those numbers, we'll look deeper. We see major surges in the arrest numbers of aliens with criminal histories, fugitive illegal aliens, suspected gang members. Border Czar Tom Homan.
We're just talking about interior arrests, and we're blowing them out of the water. We've more than doubled them. And the reason that border arrests are done, because we secured the border. We got almost 600,000 illegal aliens in the United States with a criminal conviction. So I won't be happy till we eradicate every one of those. We're going to have additional facilities built to detain for removal, not to hold to release. Detain for removal. That is what the Trump administration is doing. That's what the promise that President Trump made to the American people.
Let's take a look at a big border state right now. Brooke Taylor is with us in Dallas, Texas. Brooke.
Hi, Harris. Well, a new report today from a watchdog group shows that the Department of Health and Human Services has spent $22 billion on migrants over the last few years. We're talking things like cars, homes, even help with credit scores. And guess where this money's coming from? The taxpayers' pockets. Well, Open the Books is the name of this government watchdog group. They dug into this. Their investigation revealed the money was distributed through the Office of Refugee Resettlement, a division within HHS. The office has come under fire in the past. Last year, as everyone may remember, an Inspector General report revealed they could not track the exact whereabouts of 32,000 unaccompanied migrant children. And still, this latest report notes the most funding went to programs for unaccompanied migrant children. Other programs include matching savings for cars and homes, small business loans, and help with credit scores. In 2021, according to this watchdog report, they gave out more than $2 billion in grants. Check 2023 out. That soared to more than $10 billion. This was the same time we saw a record number of migrant encounters at the southern border, and in 2024, another $4 billion. Eligible groups for these migrants include from these grants, that is, include migrants from Cuba and Haiti, humanitarian parolees from Afghanistan and Ukraine, special immigrant visa holders from Afghanistan and Iraq, and unaccompanied minors.
It's a dollar that a family can't decide how they spend that money on their own. And that's what we've got to restore, is shift those dollars away from these wasteful programs and let families and individuals decide how they want to spend their own money.
According to the report from Open the Books, the two nonprofits awarded the most funds were the International Rescue Committee and also the Church World Services. We have reached out to HHS and the ORR to respond to this report and to ask them to justify these billions of dollars from taxpayer money. As of this afternoon, we have not heard back from them, Harris.
Brooke, thank you very much. Mark Thiessen, now Fox News contributor, rejoin you. Or joins me, however. Look, we saw that in that San Diego, California shelter, where it's dwindled down to not a single person coming to the shelter. I mean, the president is keeping his promise. Talk to me about, though, just the onslaught of push against him.
Well, what's amazing about it is that it just shows what a crisis of choice this was under Joe Biden. I mean, remember when the Democrats told us we can't possibly secure the border unless you pass the bipartisan border bill? Well, they didn't pass the bipartisan border bill. Trump has not gotten a dime more money from Congress. He hasn't gotten a single additional authority from Congress. And the illegal border crossings are down 90% and headed for a 60-year low. All it took was presidential will. And a new border czar, replacing Kamala Harris with Tom Homan, who's a hero because he's actually enforcing the border.
Yeah, I mean, the will to do it, but also the skill to lead through it. I mean, we had former Vice President Kamala Harris in charge of the border by her boss, Joe Biden, and it was lacking there. Some Democrats are working to resist the administration when it comes to illegal immigrant arrests and deportations. I don't know why you want to defend and then resist against criminals getting picked up, but that's what they're doing. Far-left Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hosted a webinar last week showing illegals how you go around the system. Don't open your doors to the immigration customs enforcement officers. And she had some more advice. Take a look.
When one of these things comes to your backyard, you can resist. And what that happens over millions of people is that you generate enough friction that they cannot go as fast as they want to go. Make sure that you are slowing down this system.
Border Czar Tom Homan said he wants clarity from the Justice Department on whether AOC has crossed the line with that event. She fired back at the comment and have the post here. Maybe he can learn to read the Constitution would be a good place to start. It's a back and forth, and Tom Homan gets the last word.
What I find disturbing is that any member of Congress wants to educate people how to evade law enforcement. You can claim you're educating those constitutional rights. Okay, you can keep that claim. But what she in fact is doing is telling people don't open your door, hide in your home, don't talk to ICE. We're talking about people who are in the country illegally, committed a crime, they're a public safety threat. AOC and others don't want ICE to enforce the laws that they enacted. She's a member of Congress. Let us enforce the laws you enacted. That's what we're supposed to do.
You know, I'll tell you one thing about this. If you're pressing against this, there has to be time and attention taken away with 74 legal cases against this administration already with the steps that they're making. I mean, America deserves to see what this president would do, but you got to put some attention on some of that pushback. Or do you not?
Yeah, imagine if a member of Congress produced a video on how shoplifters can avoid getting prosecuted or arrested. I mean, it's literally the same thing. And one of the things Tom Homan is very wisely focusing on illegal aliens with criminal records, but every illegal alien in this country is a criminal because they crossing the border illegally is a crime. I mean, and AOC, her beef isn't with Tom Homan, it's with Barack Obama. Barack Obama was, when he came into office, he doubled the number of prosecutions for people for crossing the border illegally from 40,000 a year to 100,000 a year. It's something I call people used to call the Sonny Bono doctrine, which Sonny Bono was Cher's ex-husband, who was a member of Congress, was asked, "What's your position on illegal immigration?" And he said, "It's illegal." And
yeah,
it's
well,
funny
Obama has
because
said that too. It's all over YouTube. You can look at.
But it's funny because it's so self-evident, but it's not evident to people.
To break into our country, it's so obvious where the crime starts. All right, liberal hysteria over the Department of Government efficiency efforts to cut waste is continuing now. Here's a liberal network host apoplectic over Elon Musk heading that department, DOGE, as you know the acronym spells. He also had some interesting words for Democrats.
I'd just like you to show that you that you got a little emotion about the fact that people are losing their jobs indiscriminately. I'd just like to see somebody wake the up and get excited about the fact that your country is under assault. They're not at the gate anymore. They're in your bedrooms. They're in your living rooms. They're in your businesses. They got your data, dumb. They got all your stuff. Elon Musk has his tentacles in everything you're doing, and nobody seems to give a. So that's all I want, somebody to show that they care enough to get out their fat and say something about it.
That is so disrespectful. Like, I can understand why people don't want to watch them. I mean, that's really, really beyond the pale. And not true. He's going to have to show some receipts. Otherwise, those lawsuits can flow both ways. President Trump and Elon Musk sat down with Sean Hannity and touched on the issue.
They want you two to start hating each other, and they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't, they have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Your reaction?
Well, first of all, the Democrats are in complete disarray because the resistance is dead. I mean, if you compare this from 2016 when they were trying to destroy Donald Trump, now they're just defeated. I mean, they threw everything they had at him. The Mueller probe, 2 impeachments, 91 indictments. There were even 2 assassination attempts, and he survived everything. He's like that Marvel superhero when you have the scene where they're throwing every rocket and every grenade and everything at him and the smoke clears, and he's standing there completely unscathed. And not just unscathed, strengthened. He's strengthened. He's in a position. And what are they doing? They're sitting there defending foreign aid. I mean, and illegal immigration, not deporting people with criminal records. Just, 80-20 issues. Be on the right side.
Yeah. Defending foreign aid, especially some of which was going to terrorist organizations. Look, I wrote it down. It's a quote of the day to know about. Dems are angry because the resistance is dead. Mark Thiessen said that. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you,
The Trump administration has found yet a new way to get rid of government waste, fraud, and abuse. How the EPA now plans to claw back billions of taxpayer money that was basically, literally just thrown away. Plus, Democrats and the liberal media not having much success slowing down the Trump train. Yet, they persist.
The left is scared. I mean, that's what it comes down to. What has happened here is President Trump has deputized Elon to go out and find waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. The biggest attempt that's ever occurred.
Now, this is the kind of receipt that you might be looking for. The left is now trying to downplay or deny billions of dollars in possible fraud. We're going to dig into it. And who is with us? Jackie DeAngelis from Fox Business. It's not just Doge working to save taxpayers money. Now the Environmental Protection Agency chief, Lee Zeldin, says he will claw back $20 billion from taxpayers and give it to places where it's really needed. The Biden administration has earmarked for some vague climate projects. So do you want your money back or do you want this?
So we're not talking about chump change here. We're talking about billions of your tax dollars. We at the EPA and inside the Trump administration have zero tolerance for waste and abuse. We're coming down hard on this.
The New York Post editorial board with this headline, EPA head Lee Zeldin shows us good riddance to bad giveaways. Fox Business's Grady Trimble is in Washington, D.C. right now. Grady.
Hey, Harris. The current EPA says the previous administration parked that roughly $20 billion in an outside financial institution with the goal of doling it out for climate-related projects. EPA officials tell Fox, quote, "This scheme was the first of its kind in agency history, and it was purposefully designed to obligate all of the money in a rush job with reduced oversight." For perspective, $20 billion, if you look at the median income in the United States, is equivalent to the annual salaries of nearly 500 1 million Americans. The Trump EPA says the agreement with that bank has to be immediately terminated and all of that money must be returned. In addition to stopping the money from going to those non-government organizations, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin says he's looking into how and why this happened in the first place.
I want to know at these NGOs, how many of them were set up just before billions of dollars arrive? How many recent Biden employees or EPA employees left their position to go work at these places that are receiving billions or millions of dollars?
And Zeldin has already canceled a $50 million grant for a group called the Climate Justice Alliance for its pro-Palestinian stance. The head of that group is lashing out at the Trump administration and also kind of placing some of the blame on the Biden administration, saying, unfortunately, the Biden administration failed to process these obligated funds intended to help communities facing disasters from climate change and left the decision in the hands of the Trump administration. They go on to say, despite claims that this administration will protect clean water and clean air for the nation, it's attacked basic protections for neglected communities from day one. So that's that group's position. Elon Musk, on the other hand, who is leading Doge in this effort to claw back this wasteful spending, as he calls it, he's praising Zeldin for doing what he calls an awesome job saving taxpayer dollars with more expected. Harris?
Grady, thank you very much. Jackie D'Angelo's co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business. Look, we do have a choice as taxpayers. You can either let the EPA chief, Lee Zeldin, go after this and try to get claw back some of that money, or just live with it. I guess people would be happy doing that. Democrats?
I think the Democrats would be. I think they do it intentionally, Harris. They want to spend all the money. They want to create a chaotic situation. They don't want order in the government, and they don't want a balanced budget, because at the end of the day, if there's chaos, then they can control more. Then they come back and they say, you need us to be able to fix it. What's happening right now is a big audit of the government, and I don't see what the problem is. Every department's got waste, whether it's the EPA, they're looking at the Defense Department, they want to cut jobs in the IRS. At the end of the day, in corporate America, think back to Jack Welch and GE. Cut the bottom 10%. Make your company efficient, because you're looking at a balance sheet and an income statement, and it's got to work for your shareholders. The American people are the shareholders, and President Trump is our CEO, and that's what he's doing.
There you go.
And once people start seeing these line items and seeing how Biden spent all that money down to the coffers at the last second, they're going to realize their taxpayer money is not going to what they wanted.
All right, I want to look at the Department of Education now. It's announced the cancellation of more than $350 million in woke spending to education and equity organizations last week. And remember that word equity. It's the part of DEI that I always take issue with. Nobody's promised an outcome. If you want to put equality in there, then replace equity. It's part of the broader attempt to cut government waste, and it previously shared contract and DEI training grant cuts that total nearly $1 trillion. This is just part of widespread cuts across the government agencies. Some others are scrolling on your screen there. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, $40 million for Gender Equality and Women Empowerment Hub, $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. Look, you're going to find some things on the list that you say, okay, that's important. You're going to find a lot of things on the list that haven't been looked at. They weren't balancing their books. I mean, you can't even keep your household income if you don't take a look at what you're spending.
No, and everyone is, ripping on Elon Musk and saying, well, you said you were going to save $2 trillion, and now it can only be $1 trillion. Listen, Harris, I'll take the $1 trillion that you're talking about right there and all of those things that added up. I'll take the pennies. I'll take the nickels. At the end of the day, we're a nation that's going broke. And if we don't stop this, we're going to be in a terrible situation. And if Americans feel like high inflation hit their pocketbook hard and they're paying too much in taxes, they're only going to see Democrats come back and say, sorry, to fix it, we've got to raise your taxes more.
Wow. The liberal media have repeatedly denied the existence of the massive government waste and fraud that Doge is trying to rein in. Democratic lawmakers are doing it too.
Quote, waste, fraud, and abuse. I have been hearing that my entire lifetime, that all we have to do is find this magical waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, if it's so easy, how come it hasn't happened my entire lifetime?
Don't believe the fraud, waste, abuse, inefficiency. They are dismantling this system to delay until dead.
What you're hearing from Elon Musk and Donald Trump and other Republicans who are repeating misinformation.
You know why that one gentleman had not seen it in his lifetime, Jackie? Because they haven't been looking for it. Yeah, they don't look. But we do look, and here's what we're watching, the numbers. Even before President Trump was elected, the Government Accountability Office reported an estimated $236 billion in so-called improper payments for fiscal year 2023. An improper payment includes things like overpayment, inaccurate record keeping, and fraud. Depending on how bad that is as an individual, the law could come after you, Jackie.
Yeah.
They estimate that over the last 20 years, those improper payments total nearly $3 trillion. Now we're really eating into that deficit, which has just crept above $37 trillion today. You know, we're watching that. A new opinion piece is arguing instead of applauding Doge's efforts, the media spin masters are gaslighting the public by dismissing and playing down what Americans can see with their own eyes. The press is giving Americans more reason to distrust him.
Yeah.
Well, not all the press. Some of us aren't doing that. We're doing our job.
No, and you know what kills me? The pet projects are one thing, because somebody can say, I want to spend this money on environmental and climate change issues. Okay, we can have that discussion whether it's worth it or not. But when you talk about fraud and waste in programs like Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, and then the Democrats say, oh, it's the Republicans who are trying to push Granny off the cliff. The fraud and waste there that impacts the elderly and the senior citizens in our country is shameful. And so they're looking at that. They're trying to shine a light on it and fix it. We as media have to be responsible about how we report that, because these issues are so important to people.
That's right.
And I just go back to the election and say, whether it was DEI or whether it was fraud and waste or whatever it was, people voted for President Trump because they have had enough. He tried to drain the swamp once. He's got to take the water out this time, get down into the roots, pull the plumbing out, whatever he has to do. And I think he knows that.
Jackie, always great to have you in focus.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Well, it is the first case in President Trump's flurry of executive actions to reach the U.S. Supreme Court. He says he has the power to fire a top federal official. Well, will the justices side with him? We'll take a look. Plus, Democrats are using the courts in a very big way to go after Doge, of course.
It's like the lawfare's on the other foot. You know, they rationalized all these lawsuits against Trump when the Democrats were in power, and here they're doing it yet again. But the courts don't have any more power to run the executive branch than the Congress does or anyone else does.
All right, so this is a news story that is taking shape right now. An Obama-appointed judge is hearing a lawsuit by 14 Democratic attorneys general who are suing over giving Elon Musk access to federal data. Just exactly what Jackie and I were talking about on the money side. Now let's get the legal side.
Not allowed to say, yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to spend this money, but not that money. That's why so far there's a whole lot of lawsuits that have been successful.
We're going to continue to work together in an all hands on deck effort to push back against the far right extremism that is being unleashed on this country with record velocity.
The dominant objective of this administration is corruption and lawlessness. We're winning in court. More than a dozen federal injunctions and temporary restraining orders have been issued.
Interesting. Lawlessness to balance the books and take a look at where your taxpayers are going. Just remember which side of the aisle said that over and over again, because it's not common sense. Democrats are using the courts to go after the Department of Government Efficiency now. And today, an Obama-appointed judge is holding that hearing I told you about before the break on a lawsuit filed by 14 Democrat attorneys general. They want to prevent Doge from accessing certain federal data. Doge scored a legal win over the weekend. A judge in a different case refused to block access to data from 3 agencies. Mike Huckabee, the ambassador to Israel, says Doge is doing exactly what Americans want.
I think if you get about 30 miles from the Beltway, people are dancing in the streets and celebrating. It's finally a moment where you've got government people who are looking into how the taxpayers' money is being spent. I think people are ecstatic about it. Donald Trump is keeping a promise. He said he was going to do it, and he did it.